I'm gonna test out my new jets because I upsized the jets on my Honda Navi. I went from I think it was a stock size of a 85 main jet to a 100 right now. And I went from a 35 pilot jet, also known as the slow jet, to a 38. And I ordered you can get these Navi jet kits from I got it from Scooter Swap Shop, and I highly recommend them. They're super nice and good customer service too. But you can get a little kit like that. You can get like, I think 10 or so different jets. Let me see if I can open this one. Yeah. Oh. So you can get like a whole bunch of them like that. And here's the stock one, the stock pilot jet. And here's all the main jets that you can get. But the reason why I had to upsize it, I know you guys are having a lot of, I go on Facebook groups and stuff, and I read you guys having all this hard time with tuning and this and that with your carburetors, this and that. Like, I'm at 3,500 feet elevation where I live now, and I was at sea level. So I used to live in Daytona Beach, and it's at sea level. And stock Navi ran great. But as soon as I got here, it was running okay, I guess, here and there. But it turns out it was running a little bit rich. And you could kind of smell it when you crank it up. I wanted to get it tuned. And I also wanted to do some mods. Like, I wanted to get rid of the factory air box that was right here, the big, huge thing. And I put this _𝐓𝐵 Racing pod filter here, which I still have to oil, but I haven't done that yet. And that helped a lot, actually. I got up to 55 miles an hour now just with that. But now I need to jet it. So I already pulled the plug and all that, and a couple times actually. And it's pretty easy. So like my Navi right now, I pulled out the cargo box, that big thing right there. There's a 12 millimeter bolt that goes right here, and a 10 millimeter here, and on the other side there's a 10 millimeter bolt right there, and then the box comes out and it slides out this way, and then you can get to your this little panel here. It's going to be right here. It's going to be 3 Phillips screws, and then once you have that off, you can see your spark plug cap right here. You're just going to have to get your hand in there and wiggle it out and pop it out this way. But what I did made my life easier is I actually trimmed this little plastic thing right here with the grinder, and then I filed it down and made it smooth so it didn't cut my hands. But now I can get my hand in there. It makes it way easier to access my spark plug cable. If you're having intermittent starting issues, you might want to check that spark plug cap. Because when I first got my Navi, that's why I think I got a really good deal on it. The guy was freaking out. Like, he was saying there's something wrong with my Navi. It won't start, this and that. It turned out to be the spark plug cap wasn't Honda. Didn't even screw the cap on to the actual spark plug wire very well. Or at all, actually. So it was just like intermittent touching. Like, I can't believe they did that. But anyways, it was an easy fix. And it was in one of my videos I did on my YouTube shorts. I explained what happened. Besides that, now I can get my one hand in here to get to the spark plug, like this, and then with the other hand through the other side, through here, and then I can pop off and access the spark plug. I believe it's a 14 millimeter, but I'll have to double check on that. 14 millimeter socket to get the spark plug out. And basically what you're going to have to do is when you pull that spark plug out, you're going to have to that's how you tell if your bike's running healthy or not. What you want to look for is at the tip of the spark plug. Actually, when I go to test out my jet today, I'll probably take it out and then I'll film it and then let you guys know what I'm talking about. But basically, you want to look for that, like a marshmallowy, toasty gold, brownish tan color on the spark plug when you pull it out, like right near the electrode, right at that ceramic, like the porcelain. Right there is where you want to, I think it's ceramic. Right there is where you want the goldish brown toasty color. You don't want a really wet black If it's running rich, it'll be really black and really wet and rich and stinky, and you'll see the gas. It's like and then if it's running lean, it'll be super white and chalky, like kind of like chocolate you write on sidewalks. It'll be real white and chalky. That's bad. You don't want that. And if it's running too lean, that's not good either, because you'll wash out the cylinder the cylinder walls with gas, and that's not good. So by changing out upsizing the pilot jet, it made starting really easy. I mean, it was way easier to start now. And I still have to use the choke, but not much. I mean, I probably don't even have to, actually. But it definitely, now it just right away starts up. And taking off is a lot smoother. So, like, the pilot jet will help with, like, initial takeoff. And idle and initial takeoff. If you're having issues with that, you might want to check into the pilot jet. And you can get the stuff from Scooter Swap Shop. The needle is basically, if you're having mid-range power, like power issues, you can enrichen the needle by lifting the needle up. And I'm pretty sure our carburetors, I haven't really looked into it, but I'm pretty sure our carburetors are adjustable. So that'd be cool. And then the main jet is basically like your top end, like your open throttle, like all the way open throttle, like if you're having like bogging issues, or it's just not, hesitating or bogging, or making like a popping sound. Yeah. So when I did my intake, you're more than likely you have to rejet your bike. But when I did mine, I had to upsize my jet. Now I'm at a 100 main jet and a 38 pilot jet, and I'm at 3,500 feet elevation, roughly. The mountains here varies from like 2 to like 6,000, depends on where you're at. So where I live right now is like 3,500 ish. So I'm thinking it's pretty good right now, but I want to go test run it, and then I'll come back. And if you guys see like a mark in the lens, it's because the last video I did with my Jeep, I had it on the roof, and the camera fell down and hit my lens guards. So now I got to order new lens guards. So hopefully it's not too fuzzy in the picture, but if it is, that's why. And then when you go to remove the carburetor, like if you want to play with the jets, I highly recommend going through this way and removing let's try to do this, removing these 10 millimeter intake manifold. Just remove that, get those two off. You're gonna have to disconnect the gas line right here. It just pinches, use pliers. The choke, this is your choke. You're gonna have to lift this cable off like that, and then you can see where just get this disconnected. And so this would be loose. And then this screw right here, this one right here, is a Phillips. Undo that one completely and get this bracket off, and then pull that wire out of the way. And it's going to be dangling. And then what you're going to have to do is go in here. This is like kind of like the hardest part, actually. Your throttle, this guy right here, you're going to have to loosen that all the way and pull the throttle up. So pull that thing out. And then on this side of the carburetor, you're gonna have this wire right here, this tube. You have to disconnect that from right there. And then, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. It's pretty easy. And then what you're gonna do, this is if you have a aftermarket intake. A lot of you guys are gonna have like these the original intake on here. You get those out of the way. Once you get that air box out of the way, it would be just like this, minus this part. But with my foam thing, I could just squeeze it, squish it, and then pull the carburetor out this way. And then once it's out, I'll show you when I do it. It's not that bad, but like I said, I'm going to test ride this with the 100 main jet and the 38 pilot jet. And later, I'll do the air fuel mixture screw if I have to. But I may not even need to. But that's like for like fine tuning or like idle. Or like actually, like if you're at hard acceleration and then you let off the throttle and it's popping like crazy, like on hard decel, you have air fuel mixture issues. But that's how you get rid of that popping shit. But I kind of like the pops. But anyways, I'll do that later. Right now, I just want it jetted really good. Because I need to, you know. I don't want to be running the bike, you know, either too lean or too rich. So it'll be interesting. Right now, it was like 40 degrees this morning, and then this afternoon it'll be like 70. So the last time I rode, it was cold. It was like 20 something in the morning and then like 45 in the afternoon when I was last riding it. And I wanted to get a more accurate reading now that the weather's finally more tame. So that's what I plan on doing, guys. And pinned, guys, and I'm going about 48 miles an hour into the wind. So I guess that's good. Sounds good. It fired up real easy. Like I said, I'm running the 100 main jet and a 38 pilot jet. And hey, there's a Jeep like mine. What the heck? Got a twin in town. That's awesome. It's Crush Orange. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of hard to all this wind, but at least it ain't cold right now. It's like 72. It was cold this morning though. Oh shit. Alright, I'm at 50 miles an hour. Come on now. I'm going downhill a little bit, so that's kind of cheating, but no problem. Oh shit, I'm gonna slow down. Oh yeah. Woo! Shit. Yeah, it's really windy though. It's not really fair to test it for top speed, but it's definitely running good though. When I get back home, I'll have to pull the spark plug and see what it's doing. It might be a little too rich. I might have to bump it down, or knock it down to a 95. We'll find out. Ooh, some more bikes. Let's see.
Ding 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 dum dum bum bum bam bam bum 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 ring ding 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 bim bum 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 ding bum dum bum 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 bum.
The intake mod that I did doesn't require a pipe. You can just slip on the pod filter and over the snout of the intake, and it fits perfect. So you don't have to even have a pipe or whatever you guys put on there. And it definitely sounds cool. It gives it like a deeper sound. It's not loud or anything, but you can definitely hear it a lot easier, and it like the throttle response is quicker. Yeah, I definitely think I went the wrong way. Oh well. Oh shit. Also, just because I put a 100 jet, main jet, doesn't mean that's right for you also. I mean, every bike is different as far as jetting goes. Okay, we're hitting 50. 52. 53. 54. 55. We're going downhill. Okay, I'm getting some sort of bog right there. Some sort of like choking out bog kind of sound. So I might need to make some adjustments there. It's good to know though. So this is why it's good to test ride your bikes, you know, especially out in the open and away from people. Just be careful, guys, you know. Don't be stupid. And now when I get home, I'll pull that plug and see what's going on with it. Might have to mess with that mixture screw. I don't know if the Honda Navis have a rev limiter from the factory or not. If you happen to know, let me know in the comments. Let me see. Let me know if they actually have a rev limiter or not, or if it's something that I can disable. If there is one, I don't know. Maybe there's not. So let me know. But like if you're going on your test ride after you've done your jets, after you swapped out jets, what you want to do in order to get the most accurate reading, from your spark plug is you want to get the bike at operating temperature, run it around for a little bit, like I'm doing, and then have it at wide open throttle, and obviously do it in a safe place and everything. Wide open throttle, give it a few seconds, and what you want to do is have it wide open, and then at the same time cut off the key and the throttle, like shut the throttle off and cut off the key at the same time, and then if possible, once you do that, don't touch it, don't crank it back up, don't do nothing, pull it off the side of the road, let the engine cool off or whatever, and whoa buddy, slow down, let it cool down, and then check your spark plug. I know you're gonna have to have your tools with you and stuff like that, but that's to get the most accurate reading. What the heck, dude? I am so lost. I thought it was this way. Fuck. Okay, let me go around. I have fucking no idea where I'm at. I think I have to go the other way. Shit. It's got some, either the belt slipping or like tugging or whatever, or I still have to do some main jet adjustments because it's at the top end when I feel that tug or whatever it's doing, bogging out or whatever. On NGK's website, they have a chart or like a list of pictures and symptoms of spark plugs, and it's a really good. They have really good descriptions of what's going on, so you can help tune your bike. And I'll leave that in the description in my video. And so if you click on that, it'll lead you. You'll see all the. Ooh, welcome to Frogtown, Frog level. So yeah, check out that website, the NGK website. It tells you how to read and diagnose your spark plugs. All right, guys. So hopefully you can see this, but I'm gonna have to get my hands in here. One hand under here, one hand from the top like this, then pop this spark plug cap off. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but like that. Got the cap off. I'm going to use a 5/8 socket, deep socket, to get this off. It's kind of tricky, so. Sometimes it's easier to get the socket on there first, onto the spark plug, then align this into the, like that. Now you can get it off. Not exactly easy. Once you break it loose, you can do the rest by hand. Just get your ratchet out of there, get your fingers in there and do it like this. Got it. Okay, I don't know if you can see this spark plug, but let me get this camera over here so you can see. Okay, it is still pretty lean. Still might bump it up. It's not bad, but what you want to see is down inside. If it's brownish tan, and it's not, so it's still pretty lean. All right, guys. So to reinstall the spark plug, put the spark plug in by hand. Just set it in there like this. You're gonna cram your fingers in there. It's not easy, but you gotta find the freaking hole. You'll feel it drop in like I just felt it right there. Do not cross thread it. Do it by hand first before you use a wrench or whatever you're using. Always do it by fingers first, as far as you can, and then do the socket. Use a wrench after. But I like to do it. Ow. Use your tighten it by hand as far as you can first. Okay, that's about as good as I can get. And then use your 5/8 spark plug wrench or socket like that. You can, if you can turn it by hand like this, that's great. But a lot of times you can't. Definitely not easy, but it's a lot easier with this cutout that I did here. Otherwise, you really can't get your hand in there. All right. Set your socket in there, and then sometimes you're going to have to twist this to align it in here. Ooh, there we go. Got it. And you don't want to over tighten it. Just get it snug. Because the head's aluminum, you don't want to freaking break it. So just get it snug like that. Sometimes it's hard to get it out, so just release the ratchet from the socket and then get the socket out like that. So more than likely, I'm going to have to run a larger main jet. So I might bump it up to a 105. Usually I like to run in increments of 5. So right now it's running 100. I'm going to bump it up to the 105 and see how it goes from there. Because I'm looking for that gold tan toasty color on the spark plug. Do the choke first. So what you want to do is push this forward, get that cable out of the way, pop it out like that. Now that that's loose, then you're going to get a Phillips, or I like to use a JIS screwdriver, Japanese industrial screwdriver. It's slightly different than a Phillips. It's got like these groove tips, so it's a lot less chance of stripping. These are made by Vessel. I highly recommend them, especially for intricate things like carburetors and stuff like that. But anything Japanese, I would definitely use it. So take that guy out. Hold on to that screw. So now this is the choke. Get that out of the way. I'll pull it forward this way, out here. Put this guy back in where it came from. Just do it by hand, so we don't lose it. Like that. Just a little bit. You don't have to go all the way, but okay. Then I'm gonna get this guy out of the way. So get some pliers, and you can also use another screwdriver, something like that, to plug it up so the way gas isn't leaking everywhere. And make sure your gas is off, by the way. And you want to be doing this when the engine's cold. You don't want to burn yourself or anything like that. So if it's stuck like this, like it's kind of stuck, just use your pliers and kind of gently twist it back and forth. Just break the seal a little bit and then do the rest by hand. You don't want to break it or rip it. So gas is going to come out there just a little bit. So plug it up like this so no more shoots out. And then set it off to the side like that. Now, that stuff's out of the way. You can either take off, like I have a foam air filter on here. You can leave it on there, or you can take it off. It's just a Phillips clamp that's holding it. But I'm going to leave it on because I don't need to take that off. But we're going to have to do the, and the drain tube for the carburetor. I forgot. You have to get that out of the way too. You can drain it also. On the other side, there's going to be a flathead screw on the float bowl, and you can crack it open, and then it'll start draining out the tube here with gas. You can drain the float bowl, but you don't have to do that. Here, I don't know if you can see, but that guy right there, it's like a cap. You just have to loosen it. Actually, you're gonna have to loosen it and then take it all the way out. And then here you have your two, I believe it's 10 millimeter, two 10 millimeter intake manifold bolts. You can do it from here, but I think it's easier this way. Just get these two, and there's gonna be a rubber gasket. Don't lose that. I think maybe a 1/4 inch drive with a 10 millimeter socket might do the trick. I think I can get in there easier. Problem is trying to find it. Here we go. Got it. This might be the best combination here. Yep. I'm thinking. Yep, that's it. Okay, so combination wrench, or not combination wrench, a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10 millimeter socket, short socket, seems to work just perfect. So once you got one side, crack the other one. Okay. And once you have them cracked loose, you should be able to do it by hand. Just remember, alright, just crack them loose like that, and then you're also going to have to get this throttle cap up here. And with that, I'd like to use my Milwaukee pliers. They're adjustable. And I will set them about like that, maybe like that, and then go from the front here and crack it loose. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, it's going. So once you crack it loose like that, you should be able to spin it by hand like this. And what you want to do is slide it out off the top here. It's just going to be a spring, nothing else is going to fall out. And there's your needle. And there's also going to be a slot on both sides, which is, when you go to put it back in, it only goes in one way, so don't worry about it. Now with that, I like to pull it forward through here. You have to get it out of this clamp right here, and then pull it to the front, get it out of the way, like this, and then just hang it off to the side like that. Now, I think everything, oh no, there's one more, here I'll show you. Let's go around the other side of the bike. God, I love this navi, man. Everything's so easy. So right there, there's your drain, the screw for the float bowl to drain out the gas I was talking about. Just crack it to the left, crack it counterclockwise, and it should start draining, and then tighten it back up when it's done. And then, all right, so on this side, you're gonna have this right here. Just pull it off like that, and then get some needle nose pliers probably, and then pull this sucker off. Kind of hard to get in there, especially when I put the camera right in front of my face. So go ahead and squeeze it and pull at the same time, if possible. There's going to be a lot of crap in the way. Alright, got it, and pull it off. There it is. Pops right off. Okay, now get that out of the way. So it's just going to be a little clip like that. Put it out to the side. So now all we have is the intake manifold And I think that's it. Intake manifold, get those little 10 millimeters off. Get them out of the way. Put them somewhere safe, don't lose them. And now we're gonna have to go on the other side. I'm gonna go on the other side and pull that intake manifold off very carefully. And definitely try not to drop anything into there, into the engine. Okay, just lift straight off, like so. And there's gonna be a little gasket. Don't ruin that gasket. And since I have this foam pod, I can just squeeze it like this. All right, I had to swap out SD cards. Apparently I ran out. So just be careful with that little gasket. And this foam filter. And this thing should just pop out like that. And here's that little gasket I was telling you about. Just goes on there like this. So put that off to the side somewhere safe. Okay, so hold down that, and then what you're going to do is tighten the main jet. You just want it snug, you don't want to over tighten it. So it's tight there. Done. Now put your float bolt back on and make sure this O-ring's in the groove. It can pop out like it just did. And then carefully put it back on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take those screws out. Like that. Line it up and check all the way around. Make sure it's flush. Okay, now go ahead and thread these in. Do it by hand first. Okay. And it's literally as easy as that. There's literally nothing to it. And again, don't over tighten it. Just, you want it snug, but not too ridiculous. Okay, now put it all back. So put this gasket on, just like that. Slide it back onto those intake bolts. Go ahead and put your carburetor back on. Get it in position, like so. And it should just drop right down onto those studs. Put your nuts on. Thread them on by hand. And I like to go ahead and put this guy back on. Like I said, there's these slots right there, and then a slot on this side. It's only going to go in that carburetor one way, so feed it through. I'm going to go on the other side and feed it through. And make sure your hands are clean when you're doing this crap. You don't want dirt and weird shit going in there. So in order to get it lined up, you're going to have to spin this thing around until you feel it drop in. And see how it just dropped like that? And go ahead and tighten that bottle cap looking thing. And have this facing forward towards the front of the bike. And go ahead and tighten it. Here comes my neighbor on the bike. This is kind of tricky because of the not much room. I'm going to go on the other side and tighten it. Okay, now that I have that tight, go ahead and tighten these manifold bolts down. Intake manifold. Don't do it stupid tight, just do it snug. That's good. That's good. Okay. Now the throttle's on, this is on. Go ahead and route your choke cable through. And remember, it's going to be this screw right here, so undo this. Get it back on there like that. Actually, go ahead and route the cable first through that hole, like so. Put that back on. Now put this back on, like this. Like that. Go ahead and tighten it down. Like that. Okay, so now your choke's on. Okay, now go ahead and get your gas line on. So take this back off, pop it back on, get your pliers. And slide that clamp back on, like that. Nice and tight. Alright guys, don't forget to route these cables through this clamp thing right here. That's going to be for your throttle. And this one here is your choke. So just put them back in with the factory spot like that. Make sure it's not binding or whatever. And don't forget the drain tube for your carburetor float bowl. You're going to have to reroute it. It's going to go down in here. You're going to see a little groove right where that nut is. Just slide it through. And you're going to see where it goes through that little, this guy right here. You're going to see it. That's where it feeds through. Like that. And then here, you got to get in that groove right there. Okay, so that was a little tricky. So what I did was use my flathead screwdriver and pushed it into that groove where it holds that tube on there. Now what you want to do is test the choke before you put everything away. So just see if everything works. Yep, it's working, so that's good. Don't forget on the other side of the bike to plug this guy back in. This one's kind of tight, so go ahead and try to push it on. If not, you're going to have to use your needle nose and clamp it to open it up. Ah, there it is. Okay, thank God. I got lucky. Okay, it's on. Put it back in its little groove thing right here. Like that. And you're done. That's it. So now, I don't recommend doing this, but I'm going to do it. Turn on your gas. Give it some gas like that. We're going to test it out. So engine's cold. Let's see if she fires up. And of course it's starting to rain. She's running. No problem. So now, repeat the process all over again. Go for a test ride. Well, hopefully this video was helpful for some of you guys that had some questions with the carburetor and the tuning and the jets and all that. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or whatever. Hopefully I can help you out. All right, guys, have a good one.